Hello, welcome to Game 7 of my Match Against Gamesou. This is a tiebreaker Armageddon match here. We've each won 3 games. I think second player has actually won 4 of the 6 games, so it's not a big disadvantage being second player. I am pretty tilted after losing my last game, but I think there's no reason that I can't still come out ahead in this game. Bargain Butcher looks pretty strong. Bargain Butcher and pick up a church to thin coppers, butcher to thin estates into whatever you need be. Pick up some lost cities, pick up some council rooms for draw, maybe archives for draw. You can probably play with 1 tormentor if you've got enough villages, but with butcher around and council room, you're probably not going to have enough villages. So they get a church. It's sad here if I bargain for butcher, they get to shuffle the horse in and I don't because of first player. So does that? I think I still want to do it. It seems so good. Like if they do it, if I skip it and then they do it, I'm just losing anyways. The problem is if I do it and they don't, if they don't know that that's a good idea, then if they don't know that that's a good idea, then I've given them the idea. But I think I'm just too enamored with the idea to pass. We'll see if they do the same thing. Yeah, they did it pretty quickly, so I'm assuming that they saw it themselves. A neat trick you can do is to horse, play the horse as squirrel, and you get to keep it around. It's like I could play horses, I could church 3 coppers and horse a squirrel here. And then I'm drawing basically my whole deck next turn. But I think I can actually play this church and buy something here if I don't. So I'm going to buy a poacher now, seems fine with 4. I could also bargain for like Lost City. Gains, and Lost City is gains, so I don't think I want to bargain for the Lost City quite yet. Overall, the build order here is non-trivial. They got a second church. I didn't. Is that better? I don't know. I really don't. You do want to get trashed. You want to get thin because you want to hit your price points. But again, if you're playing with Lost Cities and Council Rooms, maybe you don't need to get as thin as possible. They trashed the horse. Oh, okay. It's a transient card in your deck, but not wild about it. I will trash. I'm going to trash an estate. I'd much rather obviously be trashing. I'd much rather be trashing coppers with my churches and estates with my butchers, but not enough that I want to not shuffle. Okay, so I will get 1 more poacher now. Or is it already time for the Lost City? I think I'd rather not give them the free horse, and I'll be hitting 5 soon enough. How bad are the poachers going to be? Oh, they put a horse in the trash, so Necromancer is horse. Okay. They only put 1 horse in the trash, so I can gain a Necromancer myself now. And get to use the horse just as much. So the opportunity cost for them is high, although it took me 2 turns to notice. Maybe this poacher here should have been, on turn 4, should have been a Necromancer. Yeah, probably. That was a mistake on my part. But I can start getting things. I will take 1 silver. 1 silver seems okay. Yeah, if this Necromancer was a horse, I could draw 2 cards. Although it's like copper estate that I'm going to draw, so 2 coppers I'm going to draw, so it isn't so much better. They've not trashed any of their estates, so their deck is going to be a little bit better because the Necromancers, but a little bit worse because of the estates. There's no new information provided there. Pretty clearly they want to undo. So on my turn, I can play the poacher and then decide what to do. Or I can church 2 coppers and squirrel the poacher. Or I can church a church and 2 coppers. Okay, this seems like the best thing to do to me. Church a copper, squirrel this, pass up this turn, but guarantee nice stuff to happen next turn. Like getting to trash a bunch of coppers, getting to gain a bunch of good cards. I'm gonna try to get a lost city here. It's lost city first, then council room. I'm not 100% sure on that order. Yeah, the second necromancer is kind of sad right now. Zombie spy is kind of I don't have anything else to do, so I'll play as spy. Squirrel is similar, 2 cards next turn, it's fine, but it's not. At some point they have to trash another action card to make the second necromancer good, and then I can get a second necromancer and use that for value. I'm gonna want to try to find a village. Try to get a village here. If they buy a lost city, I might be able to gain and play a lost city. That's not correct. I can't actually, because Butcher's Terminal. But I'm going to have a ton of money here, so. Yep, just thin out some coppers. So, play the Poacher. Okay, so I'm drawing deck here, although that's not reliable, certainly. What do I want to do? I want to trash an estate into a lost city. And do I want the council room or do I want a... There's nothing good in there that I can play, right? Yeah. Do I want the council room or do I want a tormentor? I'm looking to be trashing a lot of stuff. I'm kind of, because I had both churches, but I'm going to get rid of these silvers pretty quickly. So I'm going to try to set aside silvers next turn. So I think a tormentor should be good. I'm not that concerned about the Lost City split. I can always butcher into one and buy one on a turn if I need to get 2. You can also bargain for one if you need to get 2. So turn that into a Lost City. And yeah, since I'm looking to trash more coppers and I just burned a silver, and I go for the Tormentor. And I should have hopefully enough draw here. I've got a Lost City and a Necro Horse down there. And if not, I just church some coppers, get an attack in with the Tormentor and buy, either another Necromancer, or if I can get to 5, another Lost City. And again, I can actually bargain for another Lost City. So this one seems a little tight. They seem ever so slightly ahead. First player, they've got 1 extra Lost City. I have 1 extra Tormentor. They have 1 extra Necro. I have two Poachers. Normally when I start counting like this, they immediately just have an amazing turn, and then I have a bad turn, and it's like, oh, I'm way behind. But we'll see. I think I've trashed more coppers than they have by quite a bit, but again, they're drawing fine, so it doesn't matter that much. We'll see what they do here. They've got a Butcher, another Necro, 4 coppers maybe in hand. They've got some churches in hand too. So the nice thing about the extra Lost Cities is you can play more squirrels, I guess. So I'm going to try to get 2 Lost Cities here maybe. They got a council room, which makes some sense. Okay, this is this kind of half sadness that I thought would happen, but I'm okay. I've got a Lost City and a Necro Horse down there, so I'm pretty guaranteed to have a decent turn next turn. Set aside 2. I can play the Tormentor. That's a nice attack, especially after they played Way of the Squirrel. That's actually a very, very nice attack. I'm pretty happy about that. It feels slightly uncomfortable to feel happy about the attack, but it's a friendly game, and you get Hex luck, and I assume they'll if they get a Tormentor later on, they'll have a chance. Yeah, so I can buy the Lost City sort of with clean conscience because it only drew them 1. as I said, now I think I need to pick up the council room probably. I'm not quite sure how good the council room actually is if I'm overdrawing with lost cities and stuff. So they saw my council room, were annoyed by it, and got their own council room in return. So I can play a butcher here on church. The church isn't doing a lot for me. I only have 4 more cards I need to trash. And I can gain something that I want, which could be another necromancer, could be another tormentor, it could be the council room. The council room doesn't do much for me because I don't need the plus buy because I don't have enough payload. And I'm drawing through my deck fairly easily here. So I could butcher the church into like a lost city potentially, buy another tormentor, and then look to get the council room in a bit. Once the lost city is run, then I want to butcher the poachers into things I can use. And maybe I want to butcher the poacher already. Butcher the poacher into a tormentor. Then I can draw it. I guess I can squirrel one of the poachers, but I think I'm at that time now. I have another tormentor down there though. So I think this is fine. So I can play the necromancer as a horse. Oh, they trashed the... I completely lost track of that. They trashed their the council room. So I don't even need to ever buy a council room. I can just play it with a necromancer. Okay. So I can set aside everything. That's quite nice. They have to top deck a card. They gain a curse to their hand. Getting pretty good hexes here. And I do need another lost city. Okay, so where we're at, I have an extra poacher, I have an extra necromancer, I have an extra tormentor. We are about equally thin. I mean, so I feel like I'm fairly solidly, a half turn ahead. They took some time out to like buy cards and then trash them to necro, which I'm just able to get full use out of those. So I can actually get a second necromancer now because there's a council room in there I can play. There's also a poacher in there I can play. And the tormentor discard attacks are not reliable enough if we look at how many of them actually cause you to discard. So it is just poverty, which I've given, and haunting. And this, like Locust is annoying, it can trash something good. War could trash something. Some of these other ones are like slightly annoying, but the poverty is certainly the biggest one, especially when they had 7 cards from squirrel play. So they've drawn their deck here, which is not unreasonable given that they have a council room and a horse to play. So I'm going to be looking here probably to butcher my church into a necromancer myself. And then maybe to pick up 2 more lost cities. They've not been able to gain and play they have an extra silver that I don't have, I guess, is a little bit more payload that they have, certainly. Okay, so play 1 lost city. So they bought 2 things. Am I going to be able to buy 2 things here? If I play the poacher for coin, I can butcher the church into a tormentor, and I'll have 10. So I can play the necromancer as buy 2 lost cities. Doesn't seem possible for them. Can I gain 3 lost cities? If I butcher the church, in this lost city, I can play lost city. Is that worth it, getting 7 cities? What's my... I cannot buy actions this turn. Okay. Doesn't mean I can't bargain twice, though. So is that worth it to me to Is that worth it to me to turn my church? Do they have 3 silvers? One's in the trash. Okay. So I can butcher the church into Lost City and bargain twice for Lost City and claim that I'm going to be able to play more Tormentors. They're only going to be able to play 3. I'm going to be able to play 6. That feels overly aggressive to me. I think just getting 2 more Lost Cities and a Tormentor seems good. And then if we split the Lost Cities evenly, that's fine by me. So I'm going to butcher church to Tormentor. I can draw it. I'm going to be short actions this turn. That was a big mistake by me. Okay. So this is poorly done. I needed to have gained the Lost City there. And now I'm going to draw them a card with Council Room. Play. Okay, so I'm bargaining for 2 Lost Cities. And they're gonna have a perfect turn this turn, of course, but after that I feel like I'll be pretty I feel like they may be ahead now, to be honest. If I'd gained 3 Lost Cities, it would have been 6-4. They would have had an extra Tormentor. It's the fact that they have a little bit more payload in their deck. And I needed to have tracked my deck better that turn. That was a poorly played turn, I think. If nothing else, I could have Necro gained a Lost City and then played it and then played one of my other cards as Squirrel to have more cards in my hand. The Envious is slightly nice for them to give them. It means their silvers are only going to draw 1 card, so that's good. You also start to need to be aware of pile potentials here. One pile down. There really isn't a second pile. The Tormentors can get a little bit lower, but we're both kind of maxed out in our actions at this point. Trash to Poacher. That's fine. The Poacher was probably going to be food for my Butcher anyways. I'd rather have it in the deck in the balance of things, but it's not the greatest. So they do have these extra 2 silvers, which this turn are fancy coppers, but on a normal turn are nice cards in the deck. Yeah, so they've got 12. This is 14 normally. They've got more money than I do. So I need to figure out if I need to add more money somehow or move into getting provinces and stuff. And maybe I shouldn't have trashed the church. Maybe I should have trashed the Poacher, because the church will be nice once we add provinces to these decks. They got 2 golds. Okay. I don't like that at all. But let me draw for a bit. Okay, last card is a curse, which I'm going to set aside with my Butcher. So I can also Zombie Mason it into something if I were to want to do that. So I think I'm going to play my Butcher as nothing, not trash anything. Just take the coffers. Play both the Lost Cities. Do I need plus buy here? What am I going to buy? I kind of need golds too, to be honest. So I'll have 10. I'm short on actions here somehow too. So I can just play Lost City. I can just play 3 Tormentors and buy a gold. Oof. Doesn't feel good. What can I do if I play 3 Tormentors and a Council Room? I could buy gold into silver. That doesn't feel good either. I feel like I've done something pretty wrong here. Yeah, so I play 3 Tormentors, buy a gold and a silver. That's my plus buy. I need actually one more action card in order to squirrel with the way my deck is working. I wonder if buying the church back makes sense or what. They've added these 2 golds, which is quite nice for them. I'm top decking coppers, which is pretty nice. So it feels bad to be buying a silver at this point in the game, but sometimes that's what happens. I guess they bought silvers early and just never needed to trash them. I have been hitting 4 mostly, so I was buying poachers there. I've definitely made a couple mistakes this game. I gained another curse. Did they give me plague twice? That's slightly annoying, but I have the church and I have the butcher. If I need to trash curse into copper, I can do that. Yeah, I'll probably end up doing that this turn. So we've built decks that we're both able to draw, and their deck has a little bit more payload than mine does. We've both got 5 lost cities, 3 tormentors, and the butcher. They have 1 extra silver and 1 extra gold. And they trashed my poacher. So they have 1 extra silver, 1 extra gold, 1 extra necromancer, 1 extra church. So we've reached a point where they have 1 extra of 4 things. And I have 2 extra curses on my hand. So is that just the one? I got that 1 lucky poverty, but I mean the curses don't really hurt me at all. But the trashing my poacher is just a card that I had that I could have been playing a squirrel last turn. Although I'm overdrawing here. I think really the only way for me to win is to look for some kind of sneaky piling. Let's see what they butcher. Are they butchering gold into province here? Or nothing? Okay. So 19. Okay. So a question one can ask is if I can double province when I am diluted. Well, that doesn't affect me. So I've got 6, 10, 13 money. So I'm not close to double provincing. I can butcher something into something. So I decided I was going to butcher this copper into into that. Okay, so I now have 16, so I can play Council Room here in double province. Envious is going to be quite nice. That didn't really do much. That did a little bit more. Okay, so I hurt their payload a pretty decent amount that turn. I don't have a church coming in, so dudding is a significant possibility, but I think I just have to double province here. I also have to hope that I can get them miserable or something to make up for the difference, but they're going to have a pretty rough turn here with they've got 1 fewer silver now. That was quite nice. I was looking at a dud if they didn't play that. They have, what's that, 10, 13 money, 3 tormentors. They had 17, 19 money last turn, bought 2 provinces. They're going to have 2 fewer always, so that's 17, and then 3 fewer this turn, so that's 14. So probably they can't double province, although they have butcher still, so it's not impossible that they can double province here. See if they mill a province. They do. They have enough coffers they can do it, I guess. Yeah, so they're going to be at 24 points if they double here. So to win, I need to get to something close to 24 points. That's pretty painful. Not as painful the turn I did it to them. Fear miserable. Okay, so yeah, this game's pretty much lost. Unless they completely dud next turn. Oh no, wait, they just win. Okay, so good game for them. They played it quite well. The zombie mason trick was nice. So overall, Gamesou is the winner of the D Division Championship. So good job by Gamesou. Tough match, went to tie breaks, and they were able to pull it out.